Firewatch, Outer Wilds, Spec Ops: The Line, Shadow of the Colossus, and What Remains of Edith Finch. As you can see, these are very different games, right? One is a military shooter, the other is a space exploration game. One is a boss rush game, the other is just a hike in nature. And Edith Finch is its own thing. Yet despite their differences, they share one thing with each other, and that is that you can only play them once. So why do I say that you can only play these games one time? The play button is right there. What is stopping me from just pressing it and going back in? Well, I don't know, you might get surrounded by a bunch of nightfolk that just want to kill you and then you... BAM! Now, see, now you can play. But no, I say that you can only play them once because unlike a lot of my favorite games that can still be enjoyed with multiple playthroughs, these games can never really hit the same once the credits start rolling. The first time you play through them will most likely be one of the most immersive experiences you will get out of a piece of media. They're extremely atmospheric and mysterious. To say that they rely on you being as blind as possible would be an understatement. They are a lightning in a bottle experience that going for a subsequent playthrough feels very different. It's almost like you're not playing the same game. In Shadow of the Colossus, you start your journey not knowing that you're actually the bad guy. You get on your horse all proud and excited like the noble adventurer that you are, sword in hand, looking for giants to kill so you can wake whoever this girl is from her eternal nap. And you get so excited whenever you find the Colossus, you climb it holding on to your dear life as it swings around while this epic music plays, reinforcing that what you're doing is this legendary act of heroism and braveness, further incentivizing you to kill these behemoths. But then every time you land that killing blow and watch as those colossi fall, the tone completely changes to show the player that whatever it is that you're doing, it's not the right thing. Yet you keep doing it over and over and 16 times over. When that ending finally unveils itself and Dorman takes over your body to reincarnate once more as a colossus, you can't help but say that maybe you should leave all those colossi alive. Maybe, most likely. Okay, you just stay asleep, you alright? The game forever changes, and while I can't play the game again for the gameplay or its other features, the thought of being a villain will always linger inside my head, rendering any other attempt on the game to just feel different. The same can be said about Spec Ops: The Line. You're put in the shoes of Captain Martin Walker, a good soldier with the right intentions being sent to a ruined city to scout ahead and possibly evacuate any remaining survivors. For those who have played the game, you know that not all of what I said is correct, as you do the exact opposite of what your objective is, killing your fellow soldiers, burning civilians with white phosphorus, and destroying any remaining hope of surviving this post-apocalyptic setting. When you finally confront the person who is supposedly responsible for all of those atrocities, it's revealed that it was you the entire time.
It takes a strong man to deny what's right in front of him.
With the alleged antagonist being already dead from a long time ago. A mirror, you, and nothing but your mind to confront you for your crimes. A timeless scene plays out, and here, you have to choose whether to live a lie or accept the truth. And really, there's only one right choice to pick from. This comment perfectly summarizes how I feel about replaying Spec Ops: The Line. The first time around, you're so enthralled and confused and curious about what's going on. You keep asking questions and you're wondering how far things will go, and you're so immersed in this train of thoughts. However, all of those questions, once they're answered, Delta Squad should have never tried to rescue anybody. You ever get the sudden urge of taking a vacation to escape reality and become one with nature, but you're too broke? Firewatch should be able to settle those urges. But one thing that sucks about this game is that it's related to this video's topic. It's very much a one and done that you'll never regret going into. It might have multiple choices to pick from, but really, knowing where the story goes and taking away all the mystery and how the game tricks you into thinking there's this whole conspiracy going on, that will leave you with just a nature walking simulator, which is totally fine. The game excels at that. But the point is that it's a different game by then. When you finish Firewatch, the game shows you all the pictures you took during your expedition. And I was surprised to see that the pictures that I took were all evidence of the whole conspiracy that never was. When I saw that, I knew that replaying Firewatch would never be the same. If you've ever watched a video or read a post on Outer Wilds, you probably got hit with a spoiler warning as soon as you clicked on it.
This game is the best when you know nothing about it.
This video is going to spoil the entire game, so if you haven't done so already, go and play it now.
If you're already planning on playing the Outer Wilds, I recommend you don't watch this video until you've played it for yourself.
There's a clear reason for that. See, Outer Wilds took me 30 hours to beat. It was a wonderful voyage of learning, solving, and exploring, and I loved every second of it. But I just cannot possibly replicate it because I already know everything about it. I can easily beat the game within 20 minutes, and that might sound like I'm trying to say something that is impressive, but that's not the case. Anyone who finished the game can say the same thing. It's just the nature of its design. Piecing together everything might take you 10, 15, 20, maybe 30 hours to beat. And you might think that that is too much, but it's not. It's very normal, because once you reach the end, you realize that the goal was never to cross the finish line. It was the whole experience of partaking in the race. Outer Wilds is a game about exploration through and through. So when you take that sense of discovery away, what happens is that you're left with a game that you can sadly only finish in 20 minutes. Then I'm sure you can see why it's a one and done that has to be savored.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
What Remains of Edith Finch has the same idea of being a title that you can only play once. However, what's so special about this game is that the reason behind it being so is different from all the games that I mentioned previously, and that's because of the game's central message. The story follows Edith as she returns to her childhood home to uncover her family's past. The Finch are known to possess the curse of dying within the most unreasonable circumstances, usually at a very young age. Being the last Finch alive, naturally she wants to find out exactly what is going on and why that is. You live through her family members' last memories before they pass, and you start thinking how it all connects. But really, other than the fact that they all died, it never really does. Edith doesn't manage to reach a final conclusion, or at least not the one that she wanted or desired. Instead, she realizes that that's just how life is. This game is about life. Life is short, it's filled with suffering, failure, and loss. It doesn't make any sense, and if you try to make sense of it, you'll end up being afraid and lost. But it's due to all those things that it becomes so special. The game tells us to appreciate it for how brief it is, live through it, and accept that we will be lost and that there's an ending coming to us all eventually. There's a quote in the movie Shawshank Redemption that resonates with me so much, and it basically perfectly summarizes the game's message. And it goes, get busy living, or get busy dying.
That's goddamn right.
What I appreciate about all these titles and those that are like them is that they're not made to appeal to the standards of the industry. The studio behind Shadow of the Colossus made 3 games only in their 20 years in the industry. The 3 indies that I mentioned are exactly that. They're made by small, passionate teams that just want to express themselves. And Spec Ops: The Line was just advertised as another generic shooter, for the sole purpose of saving the shock of its story. It even starts out with a turret chase scene that ends with a crash, for God's sake. Thing is, I've reached a point in my life where I don't have the time nor energy to play most games. And I don't think it's gonna get any better once I graduate and start looking for a job like everyone else. Even now that I'm on a summer break and I have a lot of free time, I still can't commit myself to a lengthy, standardized game. So having these games that you can only play once but remember forever and still get the full experience from that single playthrough feels very warm, because I actually feel like I left them having felt something or learned something, and that is very special if you consider that this is just a video game. Anyways, enough of pretentious me. What are some of your savory one-and-done games? Comment below, let's talk for once, and if this video doesn't get any traction or comments, then maybe not. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed watching.